Have you ever met someone who wasn't a strata student or a trivia champion, but who struck you as deeply, fundamentally intelligent? Maybe it was the way they solved a complex problem at work, or the unique questions they asked in a casual conversation. We often equate a high IQ with academic brilliance, with test scores and degrees. But what if intelligence whispers before it shouts? Psychology suggests that a powerful mind often reveals itself not in a classroom, but through subtle, everyday behaviors that most people overlook. True intelligence is a quiet engine that drives how you think, behave, and interact with the world. It's in the choices you make when no one is watching and the habits you maintain without even thinking. In this video, we're decoding the subtle signs. We've combed through psychological research to bring you 7 unexpected behaviors that secretly scream high IQ. So, what are we looking for? Keep an eye out for these 7 traits. First, a genuine comfort with being alone. Second, the ability to adapt your personality like a social chameleon. Third, a relentless curiosity that borders on healthy skepticism. Fourth, a tendency to be a night owl. Fifth, a clever use of self-deprecating humor. Sixth, a surprising tolerance for boredom. And seventh, an almost supernatural power of observation. These aren't the obvious signs you might expect. They are the hidden habits of the truly intelligent. Stay with us as we dive into the psychology behind each one, and you might just discover these traits in yourself or the people around you. Let's begin. Let's dive into the 7 subtle behaviors, starting with one that's often misunderstood: a genuine comfort with being alone. The first behavior is embracing solitude. In a world that celebrates constant connection, someone who actively seeks quiet moments might be labeled antisocial. But psychology reveals the opposite. This is often the mark of a strategic, intelligent mind. The Savanna theory of happiness suggests that smarter people feel less satisfied by socializing because their brains are focused on larger, long-term goals. While our ancestors found safety in groups, the highly intelligent individual is wired to solve complex, modern problems that require deep focus, and that happens best in solitude. So, that colleague who eats lunch alone, or the friend who declines a party to read, isn't lonely. They're likely recharging and working through intricate thoughts. Their solitude isn't emptiness, it's a workshop for their mind. Now, let's look at a behavior that seems to contradict the first, but is equally telling: the adaptive chameleon. Have you ever known someone who can effortlessly connect with anyone, from CEOs to artists, by subtly shifting their communication style? This isn't being fake. It's a sign of high cognitive ability called psychological adaptation. Think of it as social intelligence operating at a high level. A less cognitively flexible person has one default personality, but a person with a high IQ possesses a mental toolbox. They can consciously analyze a social environment, understand its unspoken rules, and select the most effective tools, their vocabulary, tone, and body language, to navigate it successfully. This ability to adapt isn't about losing oneself. It's about advanced pattern recognition and strategic thinking applied to human interaction. They aren't being insincere, they are being effective, proving their intelligence lies in their behavioral flexibility. Third behavior, we have intense curiosity and skepticism. This goes beyond simple inquisitiveness. We're talking about a mind that is constitutionally unable to accept things at face value. These individuals constantly ask why and how, not to be difficult, but because their brain is wired to deconstruct and understand the underlying mechanics of the world. Psychologists link this to cognitive hyperactivity. Their neural pathways are so active that questioning and analyzing is the default state. This is why they might challenge a widely held assumption at work, or get lost researching a random topic at 2 a.m. Their brain doesn't have an off switch. It has a search for patterns and meaning switch that is always on. This relentless curiosity is the engine of innovation. But it can also be exhausting for them, and for everyone who just wants to accept that the sky is blue without needing a lecture on Rayleigh scattering. This leads us directly to our fourth behavior: being a night owl. Ever wonder why so many brilliant minds, from Freud to Tesla, were notorious for burning the midnight oil? It's not just a cliché, it's rooted in evolution. The night owl theory suggests that in our ancient past, staying awake against the natural human circadian rhythm was a novel and adaptive behavior that required higher cognitive ability. It was a strategic advantage. In our modern world, this translates to a biological preference for the quiet, uninterrupted hours of the night. When the world sleeps, the distractions fade, and the cognitively hyperactive mind finally finds the perfect environment for deep, uninterrupted thought. The silence of night isn't empty. For them, it's the perfect canvas for complex ideas. So, that friend who sends you emails at 1 a.m. isn't necessarily undisciplined. They might simply be operating in their cognitive peak period. Fifth behavior, the self-deprecating genius. You might think highly intelligent people would be arrogant, constantly showcasing their intellect. But often, the opposite is true. The most reliable sign of a sharp mind can be a well-timed joke at their own expense. This is backed by what psychologists call the intelligence-humor link. Crafting clever, self-deprecating wit requires a sophisticated level of verbal intelligence and self-awareness. You need a large vocabulary, quick mental processing speed to set up a punchline, and, crucially, the social intelligence to know it will land well. It's a subtle display of supreme confidence. They are so secure in their own intelligence that they don't need to prove it. Instead, they use humor to connect, disarm, and show they don't take themselves too seriously. It's the intellectual's secret handshake. Now, for our sixth behavior, let's talk about the master of mundanity: a surprising tolerance for boredom. In our hyperstimulated world, the average person finds mundane tasks like waiting in line or doing simple data entry utterly unbearable. We immediately reach for our phones to escape the stillness. But research in the Journal of Health Psychology found that individuals with higher IQs often report less boredom in monotonous situations. Why? Because their rich internal world provides its own stimulation. While others need external input, their mind is busy connecting ideas, working through problems, or simply observing the world in detail. This ability to be present in a boring task without frustration is not a sign of a dull person, but of a patient and strategic mind. They can tolerate the mundane because they understand it's a necessary step in a larger process, or because their own thoughts are a far more interesting place to be. Their boredom tolerance is, in fact, a hidden form of mental endurance. We've arrived at our final, and perhaps most crucial, subtle behavior: powerful observational skills. This is the trait that separates the truly perceptive from the merely smart. While many people look, only a few truly see. Individuals with high IQs often possess what researchers call an enhanced perceptual ability. Their brains are efficient at processing information, allowing them to absorb a scene and instantly register the tiny, non-obvious details that others filter out as background noise. It's the colleague who notices the slight change in a client's tone of voice that hints at a deeper concern. It's the friend who can walk into your home and immediately spot the one book that's been moved on the shelf. This isn't about having better eyesight. It's about having a mental processor that is primed for pattern detection and anomaly spotting. They are unconsciously collecting data points, cross-referencing them with existing knowledge, and building a more complex, nuanced understanding of their environment. While everyone else is seeing the forest, they are also cataloging the unique shapes of the leaves. This quiet power of observation makes them exceptional problem solvers, strategists, and judges of character, because they are working with a richer, more detailed map of reality. So, there you have it. The 7 subtle behaviors that whisper high IQ, all backed by psychology. Let's take a final moment to recap the quiet signs of a powerful mind. We began with the solitary strategist, who finds power in solitude, and the adaptive chameleon, who seamlessly navigates different social worlds. We then explored the curious skeptic, whose mind never stops questioning, and the midnight mind, which comes alive when the world sleeps. We uncovered the humble intelligence of the self-deprecating genius and the patient strength of the master of mundanity, who finds peace in the quiet moments. And finally, we revealed the keen perception of the observant whisperer, who sees the world in stunning, high-definition detail. The crucial takeaway is this: intelligence is not a single note, played loudly for all to hear. It is a complex symphony of behaviors, a quiet confidence that doesn't need to announce itself. It's measured not just by the answers you have, but by the questions you ask, the way you adapt, and the depth you find in silence and simplicity. Now, we turn it over to you. This isn't just a list to consume, it's a mirror to hold up. How many of these behaviors do you recognize in yourself or the people closest to you? The discovery is just beginning. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Which behavior resonated with you the most? Let's start a conversation. If you found this journey into the hidden corners of the mind fascinating, then your own curiosity is a powerful sign. Feed it, hit that subscribe button, and tap the notification bell. Because on this channel, we don't just scratch the surface of human behavior. We decode the mind, one fascinating secret at a time. Thanks for watching.